we have finally just gotten the Season 3 roadmap for Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, which is releasing next week on April 12th. And unlike the prior two seasons, which were very lackluster, this looks to be the first solid season that is actually jam-packed in terms of content, and even the multiplayer side of things has a lot of content too. So I guess they have been listening to our criticisms of the prior two seasons. But in spite of that, I first have a couple bad things to go over regarding this season before I go over the overall season, because Activision can never stop being Activision. They are reselling the classic Ghost Pack, which you got if you got Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered in Modern Warfare 2019 and Warzone 1, and we are seeing exactly what we all thought was going to happen, where, of course, the bundles and skins and blueprints that you bought inside of the original Warzone 1 do not transfer over to Warzone 2, and they are now starting to resell us content that we already had or paid for in the past iteration of Warzone in Warzone 2, and many more like this are going to come in the future. This is a complete scam and is so anti-consumer. They really should have worked out a way for all of the content from Warzone 1 to transfer over to Warzone 2, but instead, Activision just want money, and they're literally going to be continuing to resell content we have already bought. And this is the general consensus with Activision. They always put money over the consumers. And we are seeing this happen again with the fact that Afghan is releasing finally to multiplayer, but guess what? It's not in 6v6, it's only available as a battle map. And we saw this previously where Terminal was added as a battle map, but not into 6v6. And this is even more of a scumbaggy move when you realize that all of these maps have been completed for literally ages, since they are sections from Al Mazrah, so they can very easily just release it into 6v6 and release it into Ground War. All they need to really do is adjust the spawns and stuff like that. But the maps are literally finished, and it seems like the reason why we're not seeing a lot of these remade sections that are already finished inside of Al Mazrah in 6v6 is because they plan on reselling them within Call of Duty 2023, which is going to be a Modern Warfare spin-off game headed by Sledgehammer Games, and it's been made in a very short period of time because it was originally going to be an expansion for Modern Warfare 2 that you would have to pay for, but it's been turned into a fully fledged Call of Duty game because Activision was scared to go a year without having a new Call of Duty game. So it seems like they're going to be holding back a lot of those classic Modern Warfare 2 maps and a lot of the other remade sections from Al Mazrah and reselling them as a completely separate game for $70 once again. It's just so ridiculous. They are spacing out content that is literally finished in one game and spacing it out into two completely separate games. What a complete joke. It would be one thing if Call of Duty 2023 was cheaper. It should really only cost around $30 considering it's essentially Modern Warfare 2.5, but they are probably going to sell it as a fully priced Call of Duty game when it really shouldn't be, considering it's just an extension of Modern Warfare 2. So we might not see Terminal and Afghan in 6v6 until Call of Duty 2023, despite the fact that they are finished already in the game, and that's because they're splitting one game into two completely separate games. And this is a complete joke when you think about the fact that Season 1 and 2 were severely lacking content, and if they weren't just money hungry and saving a lot of this content to then be resold to us again for COD 2023, they could have had some of these remakes released in the prior two seasons so that there weren't these big content droughts. The only reason we've been seeing big content droughts for Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 is because, like I said, Activision are greedy and they are spacing this content out for a full 2 years when they could have been releasing it in this game. The maps are literally done, but they're waiting for us to pay for it again. Oh, it's just such a joke that they keep doing stuff like this. COD 2023 will probably just feel like Modern Warfare 2 once again. Sledgehammer will be kind of overseeing it, but the majority of the work still will have been done by Infinity Ward, considering the fact that most of these maps were already done as part of Al Mazrah or part of the upcoming Last Almas map, which will be releasing sometime after COD 2023 releases most likely. But both of these maps have been done, and we could have already received maps like Terminal and Afghan a long time ago, but they'd rather be greedy. And I am looking forwards for the campaign for COD 2023, and the multiplayer is probably going to be a bit better than Modern Warfare 2 because Sledgehammer Games will have better gameplay systems than Infinity Ward, which don't really know what they're doing, to be honest. But essentially, it's just going going to be a better version of Modern Warfare 2, but that's nowhere near worth paying another fully priced Call of Duty game. Like I said earlier, it should really only be $30, but Activision are just blood-sucking vampires. Another money grab that they're doing with Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 is there's this new Black Cell Battle Pass expansion. Now, it's only going to be an extra $5 from the normal Battle Pass, and you'll get a load of extra content, blueprints, and skins. So it's not too bad, but the game already has a premium Battle Pass, and now they're having a premium Battle Pass. Of course, if you don't want to pay for it, you don't have to, but it's just such a joke that they just keep focusing on things like this that are just going to be more ways to rinse people of money as opposed to releasing tangible content for the game. For someone like me, I don't really care at all about these cosmetics at all. Even back with Black Ops Cold War, which had a load of really awesome blueprints, I didn't buy any of them because it's just not worth the money in my opinion, just seeing a cool visual on your screen or a cool skin. So I have never bought a bundle, literally ever, and never intend to, and all of this development time and resources is being put into these bundles and stuff instead of the actual gameplay and the actual game, and that's the problem we are seeing here. If all of the developers were working on tangible content as opposed to the bundles and the Battle Pass stuff, imagine how much extra content we could have gotten. And I know this is because DLC is now free and this is the alternative, this is the way for Activision to continue making money post-launch of the main Call of Duty games aside from the main release, but at the same time, that extra content that they're then making from the microtransactions is not being reinvested into the game to release more content. It's just going into the higher-ups' pockets over at Activision and Bobby Kotick. They are making more money, they're not then reinvesting that additional money they're making from the microtransactions into more content for the game. If they were, then it would make sense that they were spending all of this time on the bundles and stuff like that, because it would mean that we're getting more content in the long run, but that's not what's happening here, unfortunately. It's just such a joke. So yeah, sorry for all that ranting, I just had to get it out of the way before we get into what is actually physically coming in Season 3. But first of all, for Warzone 2, it looks like big, major time to kill and movement updates are coming. Now, we don't know the exact details, but we'll be getting some updates soon. Some influencers and stuff like that got thrown out, and I'm going to get into all of the content coming in Season 3 in a second. But first of all, I have an awesome message to share with you. This video has been kindly sponsored by Stay Out, which is an entirely free-to-play MMORPG with shooter elements based on the spirit of stalking, an urban exploration, searching and exploring mysterious, abandoned and forgotten by humanity pieces of our planet. Discover a world full of dangers and incredible events which has its own laws and principles. Become one of the stalkers, people living in the romance of the unknown, able to overcome any trials in search of artifacts on the territory of the alienation zone. Take a look beyond the edge of the unknown, where the secrets of nature and deadly dangers await the daredevils at every turn. Survive in harsh conditions when you count every sip of water and every match. Secret laboratories, life forms of unknown origin, mysterious anomalies, and strange artifacts that challenge our knowledge of the laws of nature. All this is in the huge world of Stay Out. Recently, the game had a big update. Here are some of the changes. Increase the duration of the first event with Verliox in the use of Topi event. The PvP mode Sabotage now participates in the rating competition, and an alert about the task of attack or defense has been added at the beginning of the round. MWII now allows characters who are at war with the Moustache Village group to enter the Moustache March event. However, the passage through MWII is still closed for such characters to the Black Forest. The Swanmen camp now has a safe zone for PC players, like the Pioneer at the airport location. Also, the Pioneer now talks to the PC. In the settlement radius, the hole in the fence is closed, and the mutants can no longer attack the Quartermaster. Information dialogues have been added to the guards of the Gorman Kitchen, and Max Olympic Training Quest is now a chapter. You can try to go through it again a day after the failure without waiting for the full rollback of the chapter. Now, the reward for the Forgotten Suitcase event on Novaye Zemlya or Oseverny is sent to the NPC at Yorm. They've reduced the flash of flames when firing the OT's Groza 14-4 in the quest, and again the road in the ice. Instead of the frozen coins are now issued black cartridges. The exchange of the frozen coins for black cartridges has been added to the specialist. In the Forgotten Ice event, the attack range for mutants has been increased. Check out the update today via the link in the description to explore everything else that's changed or explore the game for your first time. Okay, so let's go over everything coming in Season 3 now. On screen right now you can see the roadmap, and I will provide a link to Call of Duty's blog post down in this video's description, which goes even more in depth than this video. But real quick, most importantly in terms of multiplayer, because this is what I care about the most, to be honest, we are finally going to be seeing some new multiplayer maps. First of all, we're going to be seeing a remake of a state which is now called Pelio's Lighthouse. This will be for 6v6, but yeah, it is just another remake, unfortunately, and it's going to be set on a cliff face this time on a craggy island with a lighthouse on it, and it's going to have a very dark, gloomy, rainy atmosphere, so quite different to the original. There is then going to be a new 6v6 map coming. However, technically it's not really new. This map is black gold and it's going to be a night vision version of Rohan oil fields, which is a section from Al Mazrah. So this was previously leaked that it would be coming to multiplayer, and like I was saying at the beginning of this video, pretty much all of the maps releasing to Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer are either remakes or the sections from Al Mazrah that have been finished ages ago, so it doesn't really feel like we're getting much new content. Nevertheless, of course, the maps play very differently in multiplayer as opposed to in Warzone, so Black Gold will still feel like a new experience, especially with the night vision goggles. Those who played Modern Warfare 2019 will be very familiar with that. And we have two other maps which are coming as battle maps. So Rohan Oilfields not only is going to have this 6v6 variant, but it's going to have a larger battle map variant as well. You can play on the full oil field section that you can experience in Al Mazrah. It'll just be a smaller condensed version for Black Gold and 6v6. And then there's also going to be TTK Cave Complex as a battle map too, but this is of course which features the remake of Afghan, but Afghan is not coming to 6v6 like I was saying earlier. It seems like a lot of these remakes are being saved for COD 2023, unfortunately. Pretty much all of the DLC maps and launch maps for that game are probably going to be old remakes and ones from Al Mazrah and Las Almas. In spite of this though, we're going to see another new multiplayer map later in season, which is Alboran Hatchery. This is going to be for 6v6 as well, maybe 10v10 too. So yeah, multiplayer does seem pretty solid this time, and in addition to that, we're going to be seeing some gunfight maps as well. Gunfight is finally returning. I don't know why it wasn't there on launch for Modern Warfare 2, considering it was very popular in Modern Warfare 2019. You would have thought it would have been there, but Shipment is going to be accessible on Gunfight. Shipment is never going to go away from Call of Duty. This map gets spammed a million times, but we could of course play Shipment in 6v6 and Gunfight in the original Modern Warfare 2019, and we can in this game as well. We're then going to see Ali. I believe this is set by the Showdown remake, which is a section in Al Mazrah as well, which again will probably be saved for Modern Warfare 2019. We then have Black Site, which is actually going to be the new Gulag section inside of Al Mazrah, an operator training ground, but that'll be in Gunfight and also the new Gulag in Warzone 2, which I'll talk about in a second. And we also have Exhibit. All of these maps are going to be available at launch, which is great. Aside from Alboran Hatchery, the multiplayer mode Cranked is going to be coming too. For some stuff later in season, we're going to be seeing Ground War Infected coming to the game. I actually can't wait for this. Infected is a lot of fun, and it's going to be even more fun on those larger maps. I've always wondered if we could see a Warzone version of Infected 2 with 150 players. That would be insane, but I'm excited to try that out. Now, the thing that I'm probably most excited for Season 3 is the next episode of Raids, which we have very little information. The blog doesn't really talk about what it is. Of course, Season 2's raid ended with us rescuing Alex from deep within the Satik bunker, and he let us know that Farah's brother Hadir, who is probably Al-Assad, wants to team with us to take out and kill Russians using their own weaponry, probably using this Perseus Soviet-era missile. But that's where we're left off. We're not sure where the next mission will take place. However, we've had prior leaks that it might be taking place in Las Almas, and that could be true, considering the fact that we're also going to be seeing a new Spec Ops mission. Now, I thought Spec Ops was done with, apart from the raids, considering Season 2 had no new Spec Ops missions apart from Episode 2 of Raids. But there is going to be a new Spec Ops mission, which is Defender Hafid Port. So it's not going to be a new experience, it's going to be a Defender, which is essentially just a watered-down version of Survival anyways. So it's not really going to be a fully new mission, it's just going to be in a new location. But that is in Las Almas, so I'm hopeful that we'll see Las Almas as the next raid location as well, considering we're going there within the next Spec Ops mission. But it's good that we're going to Las Almas locations as well. I do wonder if for COD 2023 we're going to see Spec Ops again, which is just a really watered down mode. It doesn't provide the same experience as something like Zombies. It's very, very bare bones and lackluster, which is unfortunate. And, you know, right now we're not really seeing any new proper content for Spec Ops aside from the raids. They're just releasing things like the Defender missions, which aren't anything special, and it's not going to have any replay value. But I'm interested in the lore and stuff like that. Of course, there'll be new intel in the new raid, as well as the new Defender Hafid Port. That'll give us information about Las Almas. That'll probably tease it being the next Warzone map coming with COD 2023. So next up, in terms of weapons, operators, etc., the classic Task Force 141 operator skins are going to be coming, and they're going to be part of the Battle Pass. These are the ones from the campaign. Finally, we're going to be seeing them. A lot of people will worry that that wouldn't be the case, and they're going to be part of the Battle Pass, which is cool. We have some new Battle Pass weapons, which is the FJX Imperium, which is of course the Intervention, and we have the Cronin Squall, and we're going to be seeing a new pistol later in season as well, which is the TAC-9. Next up, two new operators are going to be in the Battle Pass. Finally, Alejandro Vargas and Valeria are both going to be returning. So Valeria managed to escape from prison where she was held. I think we're going to get a cutscene for Season 3 this time, finally giving us storyline information. Since Season 1 and 2's cutscenes didn't feature anything storyline-wise apart from the raids, and she's going to be bossing around with the cartel once again. Excited for that. We're going to be seeing some new bundles, like I mentioned earlier. They're reselling us that old ghost skin. Now for Warzone 2, Plunder is going to be back later in season, and Warzone Ranked is finally here later in season. So yeah, this season is packed with content. It does have a lot, which is a massive comeback after the last couple seasons. I don't think it's going to bring back a lot of players though, just because I feel like so many fans have already become burnt out based on the prior 2 seasons being poor, but it will definitely bring back some players. Resurgence is coming to Al Mazrah as well, a massive resurgence with 150 players. For DMZ, there's going to be new missions. There's actually going to be a entirely new faction coming as well. There's going to be a workbench feature which allows you to customize your weapons. There's going to be active duty slots, barter, and new backpacks. More information can be found in the blog post link down below. I'm just quickly going over it. There's going to be some new Battle Royale gameplay features. So there's redeploy drones, the new Gulag map, which I talked about earlier, which is the Black Site gunfight map. We're going to be seeing 3 plates at the start of a match for your armor. There's UAV towers. Later in season, we're also going to be seeing deployable buy stations and perk packages. There's more details on the changes coming to Warzone in the blog post, but we're going to be finding out more soon because, like I talked about earlier, it seems like there are actually going to be time to kill and movement changes coming to Warzone and potentially even for Modern Warfare 2. So I'm looking forward to that. This season is a huge comeback for Modern Warfare 2. The first 2 seasons, I think, were some of the most lackluster seasons we've ever gotten from Call of Duty, so it's good to see that we're seeing a bit of a comeback here, but it's certainly nothing that I'm overly excited for. Nothing really sparks my interest that much. I'll try out the new multiplayer maps, try out Gunfight, I'll try out Ground War Infected. I don't really play Warzone in general. I'll try out the DMZ changes, but again, I'm not really that interested. I'm really interested in the lore, though, that's going to be coming in DMZ, and the new raid, and the new Spec Ops Defender mission, but other than that, not really too excited. I'm mainly interested in the storyline stuff, but I do think there is a lot of content here to check out. The new multiplayer maps and the new Gunfight maps will be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to try out Gunfight again. I wonder how cool it'll be compared to the original Modern Warfare 2019, and this is good because the next 2 seasons will have a load of Gunfight maps as well. But yeah, I can't really be that excited for this game considering we know we're getting another Modern Warfare game this November, so we'll just hop onto that in a very short period of time. And apparently maps, weapons, operators may even transfer over from Modern Warfare 2 to COD 2023, so it's essentially just DLC. So knowing that we're just going to switch to a different version of the same game later this year, it doesn't really make me that excited for stuff coming to this game, knowing that we're just going to hop onto the next game very, very shortly, which is going to be very similar to this one anyways. But nevertheless, I have to give Call of Duty props because they have done a lot of big, really awesome things with this season. But it does just suck that a lot of maps are being held back for COD 2023. I think this game could have been a lot bigger had the year 2 content gone into fruition and not been sold as a separate game, but it's just so unfortunate, Activision just being Activision. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not ready for latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.